Hey, muy buenas noches, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. And as always, muchísimas gracias to everyone for your guys' words, prayers, and your amazing support. From the corazón se los agradezco. I thank everybody. Gracias. Now, to continue off a little bit on my story, to get to where I know a lot are waiting for, which is once I hit Mexico or the feds. I disculpen, I'm lagging along. It's just, I just don't want to get boring, so I try to hit different angles to touch different gente, right? But anyways, on my last time on my story, I had gotten hit with a validation packet in Corcoran, and it had turned out that termite from T Flat, he was it's a big old rata, right? That was grabbing my pills and Melco giving it to the Judas and you know, as the Pilis on Pil. So, he was just one of them that played a good one, but his backside betrayed him really. He was a winning and but anyways, that's how the Judas were aware of everything that I was doing on A yard as to where I changed my placazos on paper, so they tried to hit me with this package. Now, as stated before, there was a wood or a white boy there that was real good with law, the Title 15, right? Because I used to always, move to or go to the law library, but it was under different things, right? It was never to really study what was out there. But anyways, he helped me do the 602 to appeal it, and it was weak. The 3 points they had on me was a birthday card and just small things, right? So of course I beat it. So as I stated, I was up for transfer because my shoe had been done, right? For for that possession of a weapon and that stabbing and all that. Well, and all those little issues in Tehachapi, my shoe was up. So time came and I got endorsed to Salinas Valley, and this was, I don't know, maybe end of 2002, 2003, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there, right? And I ended up hitting Salinas Valley within time. And if you guys know the protocol when you get out the shoe, well, in this case was, they put us in ATSEC overnight. Then from there, they moved us to the red section, which is waiting to get classified, right? And everything's cool, as far as I hear, there's somebody on that yard that, as a matter of fact, is working for Terco, right? And he's supposed to be doing everything real cool. Now, as you guys know, my get down was always getting to a spot. And of course, I had things from Corcoran Shoe to different individuals, but that was on a personal level. It was none of my business. And so I got there and they ran my paperwork, everything. And of course, I put myself on this position and everything came back that everything was smooth. Just let things play out the way they've been playing out. Everything's good. Just relax. So that's cool, right? At the end of the game, to be honest, from being in the shoe, in and out, and just constantly just there dealing with situations, it's a big relief, right? To know you could just do your program and just if something happens that entails a Ranfla movement, and vámonos. But other than that, just set your program and just keep pushing, right? It's kind of in a way a positive thing to throw the hudas that you get out the shoe and you got all eyes on you, especially when you come out for shoe, be just beating a validation, just hudas are panicked out, and this is the time for those that know that Salinas Valley, it was on and cracking with the hudas. There was no tolerance, right? This set came from a few pilis, right? But the main one was Terco, and another one was Old Man from Venice, and and Babo. He had a lot of presence there at this time, And but anyways, from all three said no more disrespect. If they disrespect, a bailar. So as you guys know, as scampoleros or sureños, outsiders, that's why going in, nothing's guaranteed because you could be walking with a camarada and he takes a couple feet from you and he starts taking off on a hura, and it's mandatory for you to hoop bang too, right? With no compassion. So that comes with time. Mostly everything comes with time. If you're not a lifer, best bet is the DA's gonna pick it up. But anyways, they disculpen, I got off track, but anyways, once I got off Reds, the homie that was my celly, he was a young homie from Lopers. They called him Diablito. No, not Diablito. Lucifer or something. It was Lucifer, I believe. It was one of them too. I disculpen. But anyways, that same day that I go in up in the cell, there's some misunderstanding. That's why I didn't really get to have a lot of authority with the homie. All I knew that the homie had a few years to the pad, right? He wasn't that old. He was younger than myself at this time, but he was a little knucklehead, right? And why I say this, even though I didn't have that much time to conversate with him, when they moved me over there, we waited on yard, right? And as we're talking, he should not have been in a level 4, but there have been a couple issues in different pintas he was in that bumped his point, right? Anyways, they opened yard, I went out to yard, and the llavero, at this time, he was from Avenues, and his last name was Soto. And this vato, he was known for, you know, being dirty when it came to camaradas, right? He liked camaradas to go ahead and do that work, but he didn't want to dirty his hands because well, he was part of that club, right? That he used to wait on visits and rank it up and suit it up, right? And that's all he cared about, really. But since he was, sending up the proper feria, there was never an issue, right? That's why, like I stated, the palabra I got was everything was cool, right? And anyways, this time it was him himself got into it with the CO, and I wasn't there to tell you the extent of it, right? Uh, the last I heard, it was BS for someone that was there, right? So as they did this, of course, the Pili informed him that I'm there and this and that. He could lean on me or whatever, right? However that went. But the vato, remember I'm in the bars and he got there and he tells me, hey homie, you mind if we take a lap? So I told him Simone and we start strolling. So he starts telling me that he's gonna have the block because he's in the same tier as us, right? And he's gonna have the block at the first unlock take off on the Hudas, mandatory weapons. So I told him, okay, and what is it based on, right? And he starts telling me that what was happening. He still told me this track, right? That in the hole, the Hudas were giving the food trays with the food messed up with, just a bunch of trash disrespecting the homie. So it was a time for a pushback, right? At this time, I told him, hey, did you tell T? And he goes, that's that's what I'm gonna do, right now, but it's a go time. So I told him, all right, now, homie, I straight addressed him, look, you know, I just want to leave my celly inside. And he goes like, nah, we all have to go, you know, cause we don't know how it's gonna turn out. Cause it's been a couple times, and I told him, look, my homie has a date. The homie, he has a date to go home. You want hard candy with pedazos? There's no need to drag him in it, right? There's more than enough for us to two Judas that are doing unlock, right? And the vato said, chales, chales, not gonna say I begged the vato, but I did spoke up for the homie, right? I wanted the homie to stay in the cell, just sincere. I don't know how I would have played out with the homie inside, right? But if I had that okay from them, then I would finesse it to try and convince the camarada, right? And but the vato said, "Chales, your cell is gonna come out. We'll make sure you know they come out for him and take him back to answer up. And if one goes, we all go. When the sense is true, right? It's how it's supposed to be. But if we could spare a camarada from catching life or catching all day or a lot of time, right? When there's no need for it, then of course we gotta take care of our gente. Well, at least again, I'm in that drive of foolishness, right? Thinking we're still there for our gente when in reality, again, disculpen, but when someone's staccato, that's all out the window. Period, right? There's no type of all that raza carnalismo, lift our gente, make a homie, not break a homie is gone. We were there to pinpoint or to do punta for our gente y cuidarlos, right? Take care of them, not. But anyways, you know, I just told him Simon, cause again, I wasn't one of them. I'm not gonna say dumb. I wasn't a brave cat, right, to go against the green out in the open like that, cause well, it just again I didn't have that backbone, right? But I knew it was wrong, and then again, I was the one that went in and told the homie that right now on the unlock, put your state boots on and go ahead and dig that out, and you're gonna open the door and it's boogie time on the Hudas. So the homie, he didn't hesitate. Just on the sincere side, the homie said, "Vámonos," and they opened that door and everything went to the dot, right? There was one Huda upstairs, one downstairs. We were upstairs, so we like five, six of us, seven, I don't know how many of us, but there was more than enough, right? Where we could actually spare the camarada to have a date. And we went to town, up until the point where, we couldn't no more. Or until this vato said, ya estuvo, which sincerely he was a weenie and he was the first one that laid it down, right? But as everybody knows, don't matter if you're in a 1A, in the shoe, wherever you're at, you don't lay down till everybody's laid down. At least back there in Corcoran and where I've been at, if you lay down and there's something happening still with a camarada and you weenie out like that, oh, you best believe you were gonna get it. At least where I was at, right? You have to stand up, look around, analyze the situation. It ain't with us. All the camaradas are clear. Then you laid it down, right? So it happened, and of course, for those that been in those situations, they say the CEOs don't do nothing, man. Like, you're gonna get your butt whooped. I'm not gonna say it's like Mexico. Hell no, it ain't. But you're gonna still get tossed up, right? Because it's one of them, right? And then they're gonna leave you burning up with the pepper spray, and if you get hit with that blood gun or whatever, they're not gonna let you rinse it off to at least ease it, right? They're gonna go mess with you. And anyways, this story is gonna be a little different, right? Like I mentioned before, just cause I come on here and trying to guide the young ones from this lifestyle that in reality it's all BS, it's all lies, manipulation, them using and abusing our gente, preferring dope over raza, their raza that has them there, right? That are giving them everything they have. There is feelings that, you know, they're good, right? That if they were, or had that wiggle room to do things for the raza without getting a pushback, they would, which was the case in this time, right? For example, I got back to the hole and, right away when we got back to the hole, you know, the old man from Venice and Tablas, they were the main ones in the hole. As you guys know, just because a Billy has a yard don't mean he has a hole, right? So again, the camarada that was there, he was a homie from Florencia, Dopey. I believe he was from, I believe Huntington. I don't know. He wasn't from South Central though. He was from the South Side. But I don't remember, right? But it was a homie from Florencia, and right away, we went out to yard, and well, he told me like, "Hey, homie, I heard you're a good camarada, this and that, and I met the Pili Raul and this and that, so my respects." Anyways, we kicked it off, right? We had certain angles that were familiar with each other, which is the case mostly when at this time you're back in the shoe and just doing things for the señores, right? And but I wasn't happy, you know, and I don't come on here claiming I was a nice guy, right? But I could be one of them too, not to that extent, but you best believe, I always been the type that you, your worth, you said it yourself. It's for example, anywhere I walked, I knew my person had value, even though I was under them or whatever, and I was nobody, but I could bring to the table. I didn't use, I didn't play nobody out of pocket that didn't deserve it, you know, uh, but more importantly, I could bring to the table, you know, or at least, well, you guys get it. So I always think, you gotta have value, right? So when I got there, I told the camarada, "Hey, look, this, and this happened with the homie. I want to see how it plays out, right?" But, the homie had an opportunity when there was no need. There was this much homies on the tier, this homie and this other homie, because there was another one that had a date, could have stayed in and held the grounds, right? Held the yard and keep doing their program, right? And for this rata to order them to come out and pick up more time on a jura that it makes no sense, right? Losing that many soldados on a mission. But when they started dumping and this fool hit the floor, he didn't look around, he didn't do nothing. So I want to press the issue. So I asked Dopey, look, I want to press it to where, I won't be sincere. I told him to where the Pili is going to support me or us or the situation, right? Me, I ain't nobody, but the situation, or if you can do me the bottle and to make something personal happen here to sell up, because I don't think it's right that the homie's going to catch time and to the thought, DA picked it up and before he even, got the backlash from the courts, I was surprised when Tablas hit back and said, "Oh no, hell no, take care of that." He told the homie, right, "Go ahead and take care of that." Then Dopey said, "Iras, ¿qué hacemos?" And I had to go, let me do it. And as we're waiting for things to happen, right, homeboy knows, cause once the word came back to go ahead and handle business, and Tabla said he's in the wrong for that. Go ahead and do it. The homie caught, I think, like 16 years over something that could have been prevented when it came to him, right? So anyway, he had a homeboy that was a lifer back there with us from his neighborhood by the name, last name Flores, and we went, and we danced tango, with homeboy, and at this time, just being sincere, it was to me, it was something you could say firmes, right? For the fact that it was some things that were being done that had a righteous thing behind it, right? And but at the end of the day, it's a power hungry camarada that went to his head that he felt he was one of them, and he started using, abusing, and he took camaradas with him. When they say, I'm the llavero, I had this, you ain't have nothing but a bunch of responsibilities because you got a whole bunch of camaradas that are underneath you. Well, at this time, that, like in this case, you could ruin their life, right? And if you're not for the causa, then in reality you're for against the causa. But I just want to put this story out. I know that a lot of people are like, but this was a situation where a pili, which is tablas, came through and did what was right when it came to a camarada and took care of a rotten apple, you could say. But then again, I've never heard of an issue between him and Terco, right? But that was Terco's llavero, right? So, Tecato movidas, you can't trust them doing something with one hand without having an agenda with the next. Because it's later on, it was him, Bob, and Chino that took over the yard. So it could have been a power move. But, I could be wrong. All I know that in this situation, the Pili Tablas came through for the camarada and removed someone that was supposed to be held in high regards when it came to another Pili, right? Later on, T from Bassett got at me and he told me what had occurred, and I told him and I asked him, and he told me that he had told him to go ahead and support himself with me. He should have took it to consideration. There was no hurt feelings there, right? So again, it was a good deed and I'm going to speak against that, right? It was one of the times I seen that a Pili actually went to bat for a camarada. So, I just want to put something different. It's what I lived there as. I was there for what, 6 months in the hole, and the homie Dopey, the whole time I was back there, he had the whole something happened in the hole back there while I'm there, which I will get into next. And then I got moved to a different yard, which I started supporting the homie Dopey with that, right, for his Pili. But in reality, I was just being support. But anyways, behind that, I just thought I'd put this story, in a way it's sad how a down homie that's willing to do everything got misled and got put in a situation he shouldn't have been. But that's prison. That's why the main goal of this message is, be smart. If you make it on the streets, representing your barrio, your homies, there's always time for that to avoid that period, from the minute you hit county jail to rep, and then you hit prison, you know, you to follow suit with the program, and that's part of the game, right? Which I ain't speaking against that. I'm just be smart, stay away, try to stay away, do something, be true to yourself and loyal to your loved ones. Gracias y muy buenas noches.